Today we're very happy to introduce to you Dave and Kim French of River City Stitch. Kim really needs no introduction. She was a Kiwanian, and hopefully that they will see fit to join Kiwanis again here down the road. We would certainly like to have them. But they have this local business, and they've extended their business now to River Falls here, and we just want them to tell us a little bit about what's happening with their business. And so I give you Dave and Kim.
Kim at lunch and she's leaving. Ate part of her chicken. But no, we just wanted to come in today and thank you for the invite, Carol, to talk to you guys a little bit about where we've been, how we started, where we're going, and what we've done to grow over the past couple of years. So I just start, I guess, talking about a little bit about how we got going. And back in 2006, or yeah, late 2006, Tom's daughter Beth Johnson and I, and Nick and Kim, started talking about, you know, we saw an opportunity with, there was another embroiderer in Prescott, St. Croix Embroidery, and they were looking to possibly sell their assets for their business at that time. And I think it was Kim's aunt may have approached her or us, I'm not sure, but we ended up talking with them, working out a deal to purchase the assets of St. Croix Embroidery back in, would have been really early 2007. That included some embroidery machines, some blue sky customer lists, and some miscellaneous equipment that got us going, basically. So in 2007, April, we moved into the strip mall over here next to Snap Fitness. We were in Suite 700 on the end. And we started in about a 656 square foot space, and tried to cram in all of our equipment that we needed to do screening, embroidery, and all the other processes for promotional merchandise and things like that. So it was scary. It was probably the worst time on the planet to start a business because the recession was just peaking, or it just peaked. And so the growth that we did experience was slower at that time. I think due in part to companies buckling down on their swag budgets and not having much really to spend. So, but we made it through and learned a lot really fast. None of us had any experience in promotional products or embroidery or screen printing in the past, so it was kind of trial by fire, and we had to learn quick to make it. So as we grew, I think after a year and a half, 2 years, we extended our footprint backwards in that space we were in, and that was another 300 or 400 square feet, which allowed us to kind of separate our production from our tiny showroom. So when you walk in, it's still pretty loud sometimes, but when you walked in back then, when we had the four-head embroidery machine like 20 feet from the door, it sounded like you were walking into a war zone when you came in the door, because it was just so loud. But any comments on that? Okay. Up until last May, I always worked a full-time job somewhere else. So I was at the Toro company right before we opened our doors in 2007. Then went to Speed Manufacturing, and then Marvin Windows and Doors. So we needed to do that in order to make ends meet and pay the bills. And fortunately for us, we've had some awesome customers here in Prescott and the surrounding community that have entrusted us with their apparel and basically their brand. Because when they come to us, we try to talk between ourselves and the employees that, you know, it's just a t-shirt. If we think about it that way, we're going to lose. because it's just a t-shirt and they can go to 10,000 places online, up to Cottage Grove, out to River Falls, other places to buy their stuff. You have to do something in order to separate yourselves from the pack. And so we've tried to be consistent and walk the talk in basically everything we say. If we say we're going to deliver something by a certain date, we deliver it. And if something comes up and we can't do it, we don't try to hide behind an excuse. We try to get it done and meet those timelines and deadlines. So that was kind of part of our growth, and just trying to learn what people were expecting from us, because we really had no idea, and we were fresh, and so that's been a good pillar for us to lean on as we've grown over the past few years. In 2010, I believe it was, Beth and Nick and Kim and I came to an agreement, and we purchased Beth and Nick's shares essentially in River City Stitch, and then in 2010 we took it over 100%.
And I love the credit union, and Julie's still mad at me.
Julie's still mad at Kim. So that was another, just scary time where you kind of dive in a little deeper and take on a little bit more risk, but it's been really fun in that regard. In probably 2012, 13, I'm not sure.
We moved. 13, I was pregnant.
You were?
Because I didn't have to move, everybody else did it for me.
Oh, that's right, yeah. We moved down to Suite 300, which gave us more space in that suite, and then we also acquired the back of Suite 200 next to it, which is kind of hard to
So it was like
explain.
an L shape,
But yeah, we brought in-house a lot of the, well, we added embroidery capabilities, we added on-site screen printing, and we needed a place to put all this equipment because it's big. It's a giant wheel that you have different stations at that you basically create a t-shirt on. And it wasn't going to cut it in where we were, so we needed to add production space. And so we did that, added some additional storage space, and just tried to grow as much as we could through some kind of targeted marketing tactics where we did online or social or just updated our website. We had a pretty crappy web presence for quite a while, and we found out pretty quick that we had to be seen and do it in a way where it was reflecting good on our brand and not just something that we pulled together and dumped out online quick. So marketing has, we work in service and provide the service to companies that could go, like I said, to 1,000 places, and so marketing has been a pretty significant part of our growth strategy in terms of just trying to spread the word in a way where people can trust us and know that we'll do what we're just saying we're going to do in a timely fashion. So we were in Suite 300 for up until a couple weeks ago, and an opportunity came up to move down the street to where the greenhouse building is now. And we tried to make our showroom at the strip mall look as nice as we could given the footprint that we had. And so what we tried to do when we moved to the new location is basically planned out everything in a way where our processes could run efficiently and smoothly, and do it so that our showroom footprint, we did shrink it down probably by about 150 square feet, but we were able to re-merchandise the showroom in a way where we did kind of a industrial barnwood theme. So we tried to make it a place that you walked into that didn't feel like Home Depot. You could go buy your shirt from, we wanted it to feel like you're walking into a warm and inviting place where customers could come in. I'd like to say that I put the fireplace in the corner, but that just happened to be there, and it works. So we click that baby on a day like today, and it's a nice little flame going there. And we're extremely excited about the way that has turned out. And I kind of skipped a year and a half there. August of 2017, right? River Falls.
Oh, yeah.
August of 2017, we were approached prior to that. We were approached by a lady out in River Falls that was looking to retire and sell her business, and at first I stutter-stepped, and you had to convince me that it was the right thing to do, and so it's been awesome. We've been upfront within their community. We've become members of their booster clubs for their high school, work closely with the athletics department at the university, and have forged some pretty cool relationships there really quickly, and that's been a great little growth pocket for us. We're able to, when we bought that business, if anybody knows where the post office is in River Falls, it's right there. It's a little 2-story. Fire chief lives upstairs, so if we have a problem, should be able to get to her pretty quick. And so we have embroidery out there, and if we're busy here, Kim's sister Callie runs that office out there. She's been great, worked with a lot of the local businesses, and you go into River Falls, there was 2 or 3 options out there where people could go to get their apparel. And so we just laid it out and told them that if they said they needed it by a certain date, certain time, for a certain event or whatever it was, that we would hit that date. And I think that's probably more than anything been one of the leading kind of sales points for us, or sales pitches. That you could go somewhere else and they're going to tell you everything you want to hear. They might even give you a free shirt or 2 just to try to make you come to their office. But it goes way beyond that, because eventually that situation fails, and we don't. We try to stick to it, and if we, like I mentioned earlier, if we can't hit a date, we will be upfront with the customer and talk to them about that. So recently, with the growth, I was able to, we talked and made a decision that I would try to work full-time for River City Stitch, and I can tell you that every day is bliss for my wife and I, working together. All night, I'm joking,
But I think the best part is now he can get a kid taxi cab.
Yeah.
So I can stay and work more, so that's really actually helpful.
Yeah, so you can imagine that was kind of it was a big thing, and every day's not always roses, but it's fun. You get to spend time together and work and try to build your business that you both try to build together. So that, not to be cheesy, but that's fun. We've added some equipment over the past couple of years that we feel has helped set us apart a little bit in terms of speed to market, or efficiency to get if a customer needs something quick. We purchased a direct-to-garment printer. If you can imagine like a giant Epson, you see these types of printers, I'm sure. It allows us to create onesie, twosie designs in a rapid fashion, and it does it just like a piece of paper, like if you were to lay a piece of paper inside a printer. So we purchased the equipment. It was fairly expensive, but it's probably paid itself back already in the fact that we don't have to turn down certain customer orders, because a lot of people come in, they have a girls' weekend or a guys' weekend, and their buddy drew something on their computer. It's 17 trillion colors. And to screen print that is $17 trillion, so this gives us an option where we can print 4 or 5 shirts.
So you pay by size versus by color. Screen print, you're going to be paying by color. This is screen print, so one color is pretty cheap. This one has, with different half tones and stuff, probably, I don't know, 7, 8 colors. This was last year's lock-in shirts. So you can just kind of feel it. It feels a little bit different, but it's not tons different than an actual screen print.
Would this be like if you go to, there's cross country, they have the instant print things that
Nope.
that's a whole.
Nope, that's different. That's a heat transfer. That's like either vinyl or other kind of a screen print transfer that's heat print that's transferred on there. So that's a little bit different to that. So, which we do have those too for our on-site decorating.
Like for wrestling tournaments, for the little kids, we'll go to the meet and we'll have the press there and work with. Beforehand, they'll say we want 3 or 4 different designs, and we'll have those ready, and then we can put like the kid's name across the back, or champion, or whatever. So have anything else to, yes?
I'm curious, we're really happy to have you in the community, and it really is a service, I'm sure, to schools and all the people that you serve. It's nice to have it right here in your hometown. But I take it that neither of you had any experience in this kind of thing, and so I just wanted to know what motivated you to have the, actually, to have the foresight and kind of to accept that challenge, moving into a whole new area, quit your job, Kim, and then later you to do it. What gave you that courage to say, oh, this will be a good business and we probably can make a go of it, so we'll try, because you invest a lot in right away.
Right,
So what gave you the courage to do that, or what made you think you could do that and make a living at it?
I remember when he brought it up to me, actually, we were in the hospital with our oldest daughter. She was sick. We were at the Children's Hospital. And he actually brought it up, and I was like,
What a great time to bring it up.
that's a week. We have nothing else to do. So I was just like, okay. So I was like, you're nuts, whatever. I'm like, go for it, just do it. So right away, it was him and Beth that did it. I really wasn't too much involved with it for the first 3 years. I was there like once a week, I think. And then I did all the bookwork, but that was about it. So when I took over for Beth in 2010, I pretty much had no idea what I was doing. I'd call him crying at night, I can't do this. So I couldn't sew, whatever. So, but I don't really know.
We saw, we did a pretty significant market analysis and part of our business
Right,
plan
to
to
get
get
the-
our small business loan. And it did show that there was an opportunity in this area and the surrounding communities that weren't being serviced as rapidly or as readily as it could be.
And Kim and Brenda did tell us there's a lot of chance. They didn't want to get bigger. They kind of ready to be done. They didn't want to have an open showroom. They were just looking to do it a little bit on the side, and it was getting bigger, I think faster than they wanted it to. And
How did you learn to actually do the printing? Because I know that you're doing the printing, and how did you learn that skill to do that?
Dave and Beth did shadow Kim for probably, that wasn't long, a week or two, for a couple hours a night maybe.
There's trade shows
Yeah.
every year in the spring that we were
It's a
able to
lot.
attend that. They'll give you screen printing 101 or embroidery 101, whatever the classes would be. So we were able to pick up those skills. The reps that we work for the companies that provide us the equipment gave us training, and so it just kind of came together over.
How long had it been in town that Kim had it, before you took it over?
I remember it when I was in high school.
They weren't there
Yeah.
when I was in that, no.
What?
No.
No. I don't want you to over, but
I would probably say, well, we took it to probably 5 or 6 years maybe. Yeah.
where was she located? Was she?
They moved 3 times in that little bit of time. They started on the boardwalk downtown.
Oh, yeah, because it wasn't real visible, I don't think.
No, and then they moved to the, kind of when you go down Canton Street to the, behind the fireworks area, there's that couple buildings there, and then they ended up in the
Jake's
JC building. That's where, when we got it from them, that's where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the learning is failure, and just learning and doing it over, ordering more shirts and doing it again. That's probably the biggest way that we've learned, honestly. Mistakes, hitting, wrecking things and just starting over.
Are you renting the space you have now, or, because I know it's for sale for some time, that area where you are, you tried to buy that?
Yeah, we basically have a 3-year lease set up with Cern House Holdings and a lease to own agreement in place.
It works out.
Yep. So after January of this coming January, we have the option to purchase the building, and we hope to do that at that time. So yeah.
So you're actually in the greenhouse?
The actual greenhouse?
Yeah.
No, we have some storage.
We have
in
just
there.
storage.
Building-
It's not there's water on the side, it's not weatherproof by any means.
Okay, a building next to it then? No.
Yep.
Yeah, it's it was like a gift house,
Gift shop. There was a barber chair, I think, in there at one point.
there was a full banquet set, kitchen.
Yeah. So we had
Good
to
location,
do a bunch of
actually.
remodeling. Yeah, it's been really nice. We love the layout where it's at now. Julie?
One thing I want to add that you guys have not touched on, yes, you're good and timely, but you also have awesome quality. I mean, I've worked with other printers, as you know, Kim, prior to me bringing some business to you, and they were not good quality at all. And now I know we've used you for many years, and I know they keep using you after I've left this organization, and it's awesome quality. We never had an issue with any shirt we got back from you. It's always been very, very good, whereas the prior people that used to print for us, we'd have to return a lot of the shirts they did because they were bad. So, great quality that you guys have.
And one thing we do try to do too is, not all artwork we try to do is custom. So we have a designer that works with us that instead of people, because a lot of people come in, oh, do you have a book of designs? Well, we don't really, because we try to do each design for each request. I mean, we can get some basic ideas online, but just to get a good design to start from scratch every time.
We'll use Google to try to piece together
Yeah.
some, if people like certain themes, but we try to do everything with Amanda that works with us from scratch. She graduated from Stowe with a graphic design degree and knows what she's doing. Prior to that, we would work with Maria down here, Maria Bronco, and then I did some of it, and my skill set wasn't anywhere near where that level needed to be, so it's been a good progression from an art standpoint. It looks much better.
So is that your employee that does it, or do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's actually relation to Julie Moe. Julie Moe sitting right there.
Green logo, like a Green Bay Packer, or, you know, something on a sweatshirt, or?
We can, we're not licensed by collegiate, we're licensed like for UWRF.
Okay.
You have to have a license, carry a license to do their stuff.
And River Falls High School
River
has
Falls
a
High School,
license now and different colors.
Yeah, so we do have carry licenses for those, but we can't print the Wisconsin Badger shirt. We'd have to go get that.
Okay, the third party would make it for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was amazing for me as a coach. I was just like this last year, coaching cross country, we try to get the shirt order in right away, and then we have 2 new kids that show up and 2 kids who like, so I have 4 kids that want to join cross country like 2 weeks later, like, we just ordered the damn shirts like 3 weeks ago or whatever. But like, and we're coming back and you're doing a small order for us and things like that too. I mean, that's got to be, I think that's what I admire most about your business is working with us on the small things like that, but that's also got to be really difficult for you guys, I would think.
It is a little bit, but it's just kind of what has come with the business and where we are. Like, I know a lot of places don't do that, which that's what, like, sometimes our prices might be a little bit higher than other places, but I know, like, if Angela of PCR had to go and get one jersey 2 weeks after, they wouldn't do it. Not even for like a super high fee. They said, nope, not doing it. And then there's a kid without a jersey, so.
And the new printer we purchased here last
Yeah.
summer also gives us the ability to do more onesie-twosies more cost effectively too, so it's,
Might look a tiny bit different. The design will be exactly the same. It's gonna feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
It might not be quite the same brightness, but it's gonna be the same design so that kid's not without anything.
And the impact, especially a new student moving here that doesn't know anybody, for them
Right.
to be able to have that team shirt really has a huge impact. So we also like to, we have our captains come up and talk to you guys too. So versus like me as a coach handler, it's really neat to have kids take that leadership role too. And I really admire how much you guys do, like how well you do working with kids that are coming in and like this is kind of what we're thinking for the design and so forth.
I really tried, and I've learned this over the years, tried to teach kids on how to do something like this, because even being an adult, if anybody, you guys have ever ran t-shirt orders, trying to get money from people is impossible. Even when you get older, it doesn't get any easier. People say, oh yeah, I'll take one, and then it's time to collect money, and they're gone, you know? So I really try to teach the kids, like, a big one is the junior and senior homecoming shirts, the powder puff game, that's a really big one. There's always a couple girls that will take charge, and then at the end they're like, this is terrible. I'm like, this is, you know, we gotta do it this way. You know, don't order the shirts until they pay you, just like, so I try to teach them, and I think it's random life lessons that they'll carry on hopefully and learn in the future, and they don't get stuck with hundreds of dollars that their parents have to pay for, they have to pay for. So, because the first couple of years I learned the hard way,
yeah.
and, you know, had all these shirts sitting here that nobody can pick up. So we've kind of gotten that down, and that hopefully teaches kids random things in their life that they can take with them.
If people don't know, what I liked working about with you guys was that you can do, each shirt can be custom. Like you've done for me many years, I don't do it every year, but for my 27 years I've been going up to my cabin, my Dark Boys, and we have assorted descriptive nicknames.
I won't answer any questions, I said I don't, I see it all.
So you do inappropriate shirts.
I can tell when sometimes people come in there like really embarrassed. I'm like, I'm not gonna ask. That's all right.
Just make the shirt.
Right? I just have a couple of different examples. Are we almost, 10 minutes. Just a couple different things to pass around. Nothing that different than what we talked about, but just, like this is the screen print that we did a couple months ago for UWRF. So they kind of wanted a design with
I'll hold it up.
a rainbow look to it. It was, I'm not exactly what it was for. Was it for like gay and lesbian something? I think so. They wanted,
I'm not sure.
I can't remember either, but they wanted a rainbow in there. And we could have done the digital garment print, but sometimes on black shirts it doesn't quite show as well, and we wanted to get the idea of all the different colors in there. So what Amanda came up when she looks a lot of stuff online and finds all these different ideas on Instagram from different printers. So what she ended up doing was putting like a line of red ink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then printed it all at once, and so every shirt looks different because it all kind of, once it gets printed, it all,
But it
like
went
a
from
rainbow on there.
it would have went from a 5-color screen job down to a 1-screen job that we worked with them and let them know that, hey, each shirt's gonna be a little bit different, like
right, sometimes it's
blue or
brighter.
it's gonna be, like slide over a little bit, but it's just stuff like that where you can save people some money.
Right, so this one, like you said, went from this could have been,
5 or 6.
would have been probably 20, 30 bucks for this shirt, and that'd be like 12 bucks because it was like a 1-color print, but you still get to look at that. So, that was a cool one we did. You can pass it around if you want. This was kind of a cool one that Dave Hopkins used to work, when he worked at Holy Family Football, he would still come to us ever since he left Prescott. But then he did a couple football camps with Rich Gannon. So every year Rich Gannon would have to call us and like approve his design. So that was kind of cool. So this is one of the ones we did. So this is like his picture actually. And this is actually screen print, so it's just a 2-color. But you can see Amanda's ability to get detail just in a face. You can see, I mean, if you know who he is, you can tell that looks like it's him on the picture.
Have you kept a scrapbook or something of everything?
We have a lot of stuff. I would like to put stuff, you can see, but we got stuff laying all over the place, yeah.
This is just another random one, but just kind of from the relationship standpoint, this was a team that Jared Washburn, he's a pitcher was a pitcher back in the early 2000s for the Angels and then Seattle. I got to know him at the time through some land stuff that I was doing. I did hunting and farmland for a while. Got to know him, and then he coached a team and they took him to Cooperstown. So, if anything, it's just more of like just the relationships that we've been able to forge over the years. It's kind of unique, I never in a million years thought I would be talking to a guy who was a World Series champ. So it was kind of cool. Just another example for sure.
And here's just a couple examples of embroidery. So we talked a lot about printing, but obviously it's all started with embroidery. So just a cute little like winter hat. Some of the newer styles you'll see on the stores now, like this cuddly like fleece, it doesn't have to just be t-shirts or hooded sweatshirts. There's all these little cute things, which I've tried to get into our showroom a lot. And a lot of people, when they come from other cities, they'll be like, it's super cute. You have like, cute things, not just a plain red sweatshirt. So we try to put different designs on different kind of items too. And then another thing to keep in mind too is that we don't just do school stuff. So like if you want, if you wanted this plain, you could just come and order something like that. If you wanted to put, like, I love my grandma or something. Phil, yeah. So,
I want one of those.
that's just
They are nice.
This is just an example of it's a 3D embroidery where the lettering, I can pass it around, but the lettering pops out in a way where it's not just flat against the hat. You put some
foam. There's
just a
foam
foam
under it.
core behind it. The machine stitches over it depending on the design. You can raise it out quite a bit. Just add some depth to the brand and can make it pop a little bit more.
Does your embroidery machine, do all these different things? It must be a big machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you operate it, or do you have somebody else?
No, I do the embroidery,
You do
most of
that?
it. Yep. Yep. But I can't sew, but I can embroider.
You don't have an embroidery machine.
We've got a 4-head machine in Prescott, a single head machine, and then a 6-head and a 2 6 heads, right? If one we're trying to get
One
rid
that's
of,
not-
everybody wants a 6-head embroidery machine.
So with the 6 heads in her fault, she can sew 6 of the same thing at one time, so she gets done with that stuff a little bit faster
Yeah.
than I do, because I can only sew 4 at a time, and she sews 6 at a time. So, of the same item. And this is just another cute example, or another just cute little animal. These are really good for like, new babies, baptism presents. You can just put like their date and birthday and weight and stuff on the back, so the pillow actually comes out of here, so then I can sew on it. And then you can actually wash it too, if it gets dirty, so.
There's a lot of different t-shirt materials these days.
Oh, yeah.
So do you
Yeah.
find that some don't take your screen very well and
Yep.
you have to do a different type of thing?
Yep, we found some things that don't print the best for whatever reason. A lot of times like Under Armour ones, for whatever reason, I don't know if they do it on purpose, they might. They just don't print the best, they move, they don't stay in place. And we definitely have our favorites of certain things, but it gets hard when people come in too, because they just say want a t-shirt. Well, it's getting to be more and more all the time. And even with dry fit polyester, there's ones that feel like cotton, there's ones that are shiny, there's ones that are dull. I mean, there's so many different options, so definitely things work better than others. Some things work better than others.
Okay, so some of the other stuff we'll dabble in. We don't do a whole heck of a lot of it, but if someone has a need for pens or, I brought everybody a pop socket today, so you can just prop your phone up when you're in school, Steve, and just watch your phone on the side. But stuff like that, just a little trinkety stuff. You can throw your own brand on it, or throw a flying P, or whatever you choose on there. So we do, the website that we have on the logo mall site, you can pretty much do anything, water bottles and all sorts of stuff. So we are pretty heavily focused on apparel decorating, and we don't really pursue the promotional side all that hard. So, but it is an option.
Did I see you're working with the high school store? Did I
The school
see
store?
Facebook post or something of they came and visited you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they came in last week.
Last week, yeah, I just showed them all the different things, just to help. I think I did go to their classroom too before Christmas, just to kind of explain some stuff, why things kind of are priced the way they are, for reasonings, like, yeah. Their survey came back, I don't know if you guys caught, a lot of you guys saw the survey they sent out, I don't know if it was to everybody, but it was an email, maybe it was through the school district, so maybe not everybody saw it, but they asked about brands and what brands people want, and came back and everybody said, well, they all want, the Nike and Under Armour ones. And then I went through explaining, with the budget they have, it might not be the most cost effective to do all the, the really expensive name brand stuff. So I should have kind of backed off on that a little bit. So then they came into the shop and looked around and I explained, why ordering more screen printed shirts is cheaper than ordering just one. And if we do the same design on a couple different kind of shirts, it's cheaper than doing 5 different designs on 5 different shirts. So hopefully that's something I think it's a great class that they can take, to be something that, like I said, they can take and use in the future for whatever they end up doing.
Well, thanks for working with it.
Yeah. Yep. I do a lot with the, we do a lot with the Den in Ellsworth too. A lot with them. They've come and talked to us a little bit too, so that's another, they have a really good store there. I don't know if you guys have ever been there right after high school. Yeah, it's a really nice store. It's open during the day and then all, like home games and stuff. And they call them Den managers that are in charge of, they kind of help pick out the clothes for the store and help run it, and they actually run it like a normal store with the cash register and all that stuff, so, yeah.
Any other questions, or do we glaze over, or did I speed over anything that I shouldn't have? Questions or anything?
I think it's awesome you guys have grown so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun.
Thanks.